What's going on, everybody? It's EricRayweather back here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you the best trick plays in Madden 19. The absolute best trick plays that you can pull out to fool your opponent, to get some big gains, big yards, even score touchdowns. Some of you may know of some of these, some of you may not know of some of these trick plays, or some of you may know of them but aren't really sure how to use them correctly or like which situations they work in. So I'm going to go over all the best ones in this video. This isn't like a top 10 or a top 5 best trick plays thing. This is just best trick plays in general, in my opinion. So first and foremost, we'll start with the Wildcat Formation. You can find this in the Vikings playbook. I'm not sure if it's in any other playbook. I believe it's only the Vikings that have this form of Wildcat, where they have the passes and the runs. Now, what you want to make sure is you want to make sure to have one of your best or fastest guys in the slot. So we're putting Le'Veon Bell there because we're using the Steelers. But like for instance, maybe if you were using the Chiefs, you might want to put Tyreek Hill there, or you could put him in the backfield. It's up to you. But your two most important spots are going to be the guy getting the ball in the quarterback spot, and the guy that's on the motion in the slot. So first we're going to show the QB power. So this is, in my opinion, one of the best trick plays in the game. There's two ways to run this. You can either keep it with the quarterback, who will either be a running back or a wide receiver because you're in Wildcat, or you could hand it off to the guy on the sweep. So you kind of have to make the read what looks more open. If the outside looks more open, you're going to want to hand it off, and you do that by holding the A or X button. And then when you get to the outside, of course, a lot of times it's just that easy. You got to make one guy miss, but you can juke and spin because the jukes and spins are so overpowered and easy to fake guys out. So if you're on Xbox and you want to hand it off after you hike the ball, you hold the A button down. If you're on PlayStation, you hold the X button down. But like I said, if you want to keep it with your QB, you don't hold anything down. You just hike the ball, let him do the play fake, and you can take it up the gap just like that. This is a really effective, especially like I said, with guys like Tyreek Hill at quarterback. If you hit that gap with him, you can take it for a touchdown. And what's also really good about this, like I said, this formation in particular in the Vikings playbook, as you see James Conner goes untouched for a touchdown, you have passing plays out of the one in the Vikings playbook. So you can actually, if you have a guy back there that, wide receiver or quarterback that does have a decent arm, decent accuracy, you can mix in the pass as well. So the next trick play I want to go over is the fullback fake halfback flip. This is in a variety of playbooks right here. I believe I'm in the Broncos playbook. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but I know it is in the Broncos playbook. Some of them have them out of I-form twin wide receivers. Some of them have them out of I-form wing like this right here. And this is one of the best runs in the game. It was also really good last year as well. Some people might not consider this a trick play. It's more of a play fake, but I kind of consider it in terms of Madden like a trick play because you're faking it one way, they think you're doing one thing, you're doing the other. Now watch here, if you ever see a defender like this lined up on the outside of the offensive line there, you want to make sure you motion somebody over and have a body to put on him. So you see I motion one of my tight ends over, and he picks up the block on him. If we wouldn't have motioned him over, there was a chance he could have shot into the backfield untouched and hit us for a loss of yards. So you see here, like against goal line, there was nobody lined up on the outside of our tackle, so we just ran it regular. And again, even against goal line, this is untouched for a touchdown. It's a very good play fake. So like I said, right here you can see no one's lined up directly to the outside of the tackle, so we just run it, we fake the pitch, we get to the outside, we get good yards. But anytime a defender is clearly lined up all the way to the outside, if he's like spread out wide, we're going to want to motion a tight end over and make sure that we put a body directly in front of him so that he picks it up. I just think that's just playing it safe. So you see here again, you see how the defender is completely on the outside, like none of his body is over the tackle. We motion over our tight end, he picks up the block, and again, we're outside. A lot of times your wide receiver is going to hold that block very well, and you see there, it's very easy when you get to the outside this year, jukes and spins. I say it all the time, very easy to make these guys miss, and you can really cause damage with that. Now, something else you want to take into consideration with a play like this is you do want to run the fullback dive every once in a while if you want to pull this play out, because if you pull out the fullback dive every once in a while, even if it doesn't get you crazy yardage, that's what they're going to be expecting. So let's say you're on a 3rd and 1, 4th and inches, something like that, you pull out a fullback dive, you might only get that 1 yard or maybe 2 yards, you pick up your first down. You do that once, maybe twice, and then next time you come out in a short yardage situation, they see the same formation, they're going to think, oh, he's going to run the fullback dive again. He wants to hit us with the fullback dive, and then you pull out the pitch, you might take it outside for a touchdown. So those are the type of things you need to, play around with. The next trick play we want to go over is the wide receiver quick run. This can be found in the Patriots playbook. It's in a few playbooks, but the Patriots are the best playbook that it's in. It's out of the single back ace. This, again, one of the best trick plays in the game. It's a wide receiver it's a wide receiver handoff. The wide receiver goes in motion, you hand it off to him, and you take it up the field. But what's great is you can flip this either way because it's a symmetrical formation, so you can flip your formation, nobody moves, and you want to just take it to whichever side has the least amount of defenders. So I see here that the right side looks a little bit more favorable than the left side here. It's kind of balanced, but the left side just looks a little bit more favorable. Or excuse me, the right side looks a little bit more favorable. So I hand it off to Sammy Watkins, and I get a solid gain. The great thing about this run is you can take it all the way outside, you can take it up the gap. It just depends on how it opens up. If they don't contain the edge, you can take it all the way to the outside and break off a huge run like you're seeing right here. But sometimes they're going to contain the edge pretty decently, and a gap is going to open up, and you can just cut it up the gap, and you'll see that in some of the examples here coming up. So here, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Tyreek Hill, and you see that time we cut it up the gap because the gap opened wide up. When it opens wide up like that, you just want to cut it up and take that. Sometimes you might only get, 4 or 5 yards off this, but you have the big playability to the outside. But the thing you want to keep in mind with this is you can still cut this up the middle for a 4 to 5 yard gain, and that's still a good run. So you see here, I can see that the linebacker or the defender, I'm not sure if it's a linebacker or not, the defender is going, he's kind of containing the edge, and the middle opened wide up, so I just immediately took it up the middle, because if you're going to give me that, that's what I'm going to take. If I would have tried to take that all the way to the outside there, I might have lost yards because they had good containment on the edge. Here, the exact opposite happened. They didn't have containment on the edge, so we took it all the way to the outside, and it's pretty obvious. You can see when the ball is snapped, you can quickly see how the defense is reacting. Here, you're going to see the defense pretty much all collapse down inside. No one really shot to the outside. No one secured the edge. So it was very easy here for me to say, you know what, I'm just going to keep this myself and take it to the outside because everything collapsed down. There was no holes open. So we just used the speed and took it to the outside. So it's basically just about watching how it develops, Here again, you see there was no containment on the outside, so we took it to the outside. And then again, if you can make one guy miss, especially with somebody like a Tyreek Hill, you might go the distance, and that's what I love about these type of runs. Just going to run it a few more times here. Go back to Sammy Watkins on the opposite side. You see here again, no containment on the outside, so we take it, one juke, and that's it. We're off to the races. And I know I sound like a broken record, but they are so over-effective. When you can get to the outside this year, just like last year, you can take simple plays to the house by making that one guy miss. Now, to go along with the wide receiver quick, you want to mix in like the play action play that plays off of this. It brings the wide receiver in motion. It's called the PA fake quick. And while this isn't the greatest play in the world, because the wide receiver quick run is so good, that makes this pass play a lot better than it actually is. Because when they see this motion, especially after you run the ball a few times, they might run commit. They're going to sell out to stop the run, and then you're talking about touchdowns, or even if not touchdowns, you see here we're able to go over the top because Tyreek Hill is going to run a wheel route there, and he's going to beat pretty much anybody to the sidelines. But even if nothing's like crazy open and you have to check this down to the drag, just like right here, okay, we checked it down and we still got 10 plus yards. Even if we would have only gotten 5 yards, that's still fine, because what we're doing is we're making our opponent have to worry about multiple things with the same look. Now, the next one I want to look at, we're going to special teams now. There's 2 different types of special teams. Some playbooks have, type A. Some playbooks have type B. The passes are a little bit different, so I'm going to show both. So this is the first version we're going to look at. So you have the field goal fake, where you have 2 guys going out on routes, and then you have the one where you have just the one guy going out on routes. So first I'm going to show you the one with just the one tight end going out on a route. And this will work usually the first time you run it, because most people want to go for the all-out block, because you can block kicks now, whereas in years past you couldn't. So people are coming all out. They want to block you. And if they come all out, this is just so easy to flip this ball to the tight end, and it's literally, you're going to score on this, unless your tight end is just dead slow. But like if you're in field goal range, even if your tight end's not that fast, if they all-out block, I mean, all you got to do is hit this pass, and you're thinking like, well, the kicker might throw the ball bad. It rarely happens. The kicker is usually pretty spot on with the pass because it is a short pass. Every once in a while, he might miss it, but that's kind of the risk reward you take. This usually, I'll tell you, you can get most people with this like once a game. Now, this is something that you can't maybe necessarily run a whole bunch of times, because once you pull it out once, they're going to be like, okay, now I have to worry about it. But this is good for the right situation. Maybe you're about to take a field goal, your first field goal of the game, and you say, I'm going to pull this out, and then you get kind of a free touchdown out of it. Or some people might pull it out on a 2-point conversion just randomly. Maybe you're up 7-0, you score. Now you go up you're up 13-0. You say, let me just pull this out for a 2-point conversion and just create some more separation. It works like that. So now I want to show you what happens if they use the other block where they have the cloud flat on the field, where they have the zone in the flat. If they're going to use something like that, you're going to want to use the field goal pass with 2 routes. And that's why I kind of prefer to go with this one, because in the event that they do run this field goal block, you're going to be able to complete this. You're going to throw it to the lineman. Now, yes, every once in a while the lineman will drop it, so I would make sure you have whoever your best catching lineman is, I would have him at that spot. But it is pretty consistent, and you can see here the flat route is going to take the flat defender on the field goal block, and it's going to leave the lineman open he's going to be open every single time. Now this one you might not score on it, right? But you're talking about extending a drive. So if you have a 4th and 5 or something like that, you're about to take a field goal, you randomly pull this out, you can complete it, keep your drive moving. So you want to keep it in your back pocket, call it at a wise time. You might not want to call it too early, so it's kind of up to you. Now we're going to look at the other field goal pass plays now, because these are a little bit different. The routes are slightly different on them, but the principles are still the same. So see, this one, you have the 2 routes going. You could throw it to either side. It's pretty much the same in this type of playbook. So we're just gonna go ahead and run it. This one doesn't have the one with just the single route. They both have 2. They both are the ones with 2 routes, but they'd have it to each side of the field. So you can run it to whichever side of the field you want. Here I'm going to put the field goal block on the field with the blue zone just to show you. And again, here they flip it to the kicker. And again, you want to go to Y. He's going to be wide open over the top, because the flat route is going to take the flat zone. And if they're not using this, especially if they're trying to block the kick, you're going to catch them a lot when you pull this out. And it's just easy. You just flick it, lob it over the top. You want to put your best catching lineman there. He will drop it every once in a while. It is the risk you run. But when you pull this off, and I noticed that in games, they typically do catch it most of the time. Like, you would think they would drop it a lot, but they rarely drop it. But it can happen. But you pull this off, again, you're scoring a touchdown in a situation. Maybe you were going for the field goal. Maybe it's, second half, and that's your big spark play right there. You've already kicked a couple field goals. They're not expecting you to pull out a fake, and then just like that, you pull out a fake, and you score a touchdown, and now you have them on the rope. So these are some really good trick plays, the best ones in the game. Definitely implement them into your game plan. Call them at the right time, and they can be very beneficial for you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, as always, just drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.